Hi everybody, I'm Joel Ort, and today I have a very simple but yet useful tool that you can make in your shop. And I stumbled across this when I was on the internet looking at some other welding items, and it's I guess you'd call it a magnetic TIG torch holder. And the reason I thought it was cool was because I recently did buy a TIG machine for at home, and what I have been doing is taking my torch and just setting it into the cup on my table. As you can see, it rests on the neck, which then has the ceramic up on the inside of the cup here. And if you have that in there and you come by and you bump this, you're going to break that ceramic cup. I stumbled upon this idea, and I thought that'd be a really great way to help protect that. And also when it's on the table, I can move it around wherever I need to. It's not just located in one spot on my table. As you can see, this is a very simple project anybody can do. I basically traced out the shape onto a piece of steel, cut it out with the plasma cutter. I did put a little bend in here, and all that does is holds the torch at the angle that I prefer it to be at. You can bend that any way you want. And then there's a simple bend here to drill a hole in that and mount it to the magnet, and you're done. So the magnets, you can get these at any local hardware store. This is probably a 16 gauge sheet metal that I had laying around. So basically I transferred the shape onto the metal. I cut it out with my plasma cutter, put the bends in with my vise, drilled the hole, attach it to the magnet. So once I have it attached, I can take my torch, set it into here. The V here holds the top. This is holding the neck. There's nothing touching the ceramic cup. I can take this if I'm welding over here and I move to another spot, but my material needs to stay clamped down. I can take that, move it to another spot on the table, and just wherever I need to. And I don't have to worry about wrecking the cup. So for the first step of this project, what I need to do is cut the blank piece of material out to get the basic shape for this. So I'm going to take the width of the piece that I had already made and transfer that to my steel. And then I have another piece over here that has the shape that this began with before I put the bends in. And I'll take this and transfer that shape onto there also. Cut it out with the plasma cutter, clean everything up, and go from there. Okay, so the next step in this project is to clean up the cuts that I just made. I don't know if you could see in the video or not, but I stayed outside of my black lines that I drew. The reason for that is because I don't have that steady of a hand, and I knew I'd be cleaning up these edges, so I left a little bit of extra material. I'm going to do that with my grinder and then come along with the die grinder and clean up the inside of here. A couple of steps that I do have left now. I need to drill the hole in the end here. That'll be used for mounting. And then after I drill that hole, I'll probably use my vise and I'll make this small bend that's in this bracket on here, also for mounting. And then the last thing will be to tweak this bend in here, as you can see, and that's just going to be to my liking. So as you can see, to make this bend, I was using the back of my vise, which just happens to be round and roughly about the same diameter that I wanted for this bend. But you could use a piece of pipe that you have laying around, or depending on the gauge of material you have, you may be able to even tweak it by hand yourself. So we finished the magnetic torch holder. As you can see, I threw some paint on it, and it was a nice little project to do. It took about 15, maybe 20 minutes of time, some scrap parts, and in the end, you've got a project that you saved maybe about $10 on, and you made it yourself.